Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Day 3 of Invictus Fleet Week in Star Citizen. Today and tomorrow, the featured vendor is Aegis. They are also one of the more military-focused manufacturers in the game. They have some of the bigger, stronger attack craft. We're going to start off going over to the Retaliator, which is a bomber. It's kind of known for the torpedo launching ability. Now this guy is used for heavy attack against larger ships. Torpedoes are not nearly as fast as the missiles are, but they pack quite a bit more punch. As you will see, this thing is fairly heavily armored and very heavily armed, and has lots of places for multi-crew, several very good man turret locations. We're going to go up, as you can see, the torpedoes in the torpedo bay, in the forward torpedo bay, because there's a second one up. Here, there's the first turret. It's the front middle, right over the cockpit, basically. Back here, I believe this is crew quarters. And yeah, you can have a little night light in your bedroom. We're going to go back down this ladder here. This ladder does kind of pull you into it when you get close to it. Over here we have the main cockpit. I'm going to get in. I'm going to turn on the power so we can see what weapons the pilot supposedly has access to. I'm not sure what they are in this, what the pilot has as far as weaponry. Power's on, but I'm not seeing any weapons right there. I don't know if this is just because this is in the convention center, or if you don't actually get access to weapons as the pilot in the Retaliator. It could, judging by the number of turrets it has, it's very possible that it's made for just turret operation and nothing much for the pilot. There's another ship or two that are kind of like that, where the pilots don't really get access to much. The Hammerhead is another one. I think they get missiles, but that's about it. And we'll pay attention to the Hammerhead in a little while. I'm going to go back past the forward torpedo bay and bomb bay, I guess, depending on what you have in it. We'll go over here. We have the bathroom and the shower. Because if you're going to be on a long mission, you're going to need that. If you're going to go on a drop, you're probably going to need that before you crap your pants. There's docking collar. It has 2 elevators on each side for loading, unloading. It's got some components there on the side. Here's the engineering station. Not sure what the engineering station does at this time. And then we have the Aft Torpedo Bay. Look at the size of those suckers. I'll bet those pack one heck of a punch. They're expensive though, but whatever. You know, if you're taking on a big ship, expense is not the biggest concern. Now we have the turret back here. We're going to get in it so you get to see the view, see what you can cover. So I'm going to come up here. As you can see, there's that forward turret that we were in before. Oh no, we didn't get in the forward turret, but that's the forward turret right there. Over here on the left there's another similar one we're going to go visit. And you can see the guns this guy has available to it. Fairly decent turret, not the strongest in the world, but hey, you know what? If you're just fighting off fighters, then that's just fine. That almost looks like a rear turret. Maybe that's the bottom. I think that's actually the bottom turret, bottom central turret. And then we have the port side aft turret there, and that's about it for this guy. You know, it is 100% military focused. You're not doing much other than going and attacking something. So here's that bottom turret where we went over the ball. Again, the guns are not that big. Those look like they're maybe size 2 or 3. They're not super huge. Again, the forward bottom turret looks like it's a size 2 or 3 repeater of some kind, or Gatling. And of course you got the 4-gun turrets on top. So you really want to take advantage of those man turrets with the four guns as opposed to the 2 gunners. Now we're going to walk right past the Hammerhead. We're going to hit that one later. But I want to go to one of the prettier ships. I like this ship. I like the looks of this thing almost as much as I like the looks of the F-8 Lightning. The Saber Comet is a stealth fighter. They compared to the normal Sabers, they reduce the weapon load this guy has compared to the stock Saber, but It's supposedly a little bit more stealthy, and I think stealth is going to be important when you can sneak up on somebody before they can detect you. That'll be a great advantage. I'm not sure exactly how much stealth they have right now. As if you watch that forward gun slide in and out of place, that's kind of cool. Some of them have really cool door opening animations, but I'll come back to the back just to look how pretty. She's a nice one. I'd probably get that one just for fun, honestly. There's no storage or no cargo capability in that thing, but it's a decent fighter, and its goal is to sneak up and surprise people. Now what we're going to go to is the one that I'm most interested in is the Redeemer. The Redeemer is a heavy gunship. As you can see, it was designed by the players themselves. And we're going to take a look at this thing, and if you compare the turrets on this compared to the turrets on the Retaliator, look at the size of those cannons on that man turret on the bottom. That's at least a size 5. I would think that's at least a size 5. I'm not sure because I can't identify them by look just yet, but there's a couple of size 5s on there. The top turret in the back also looks like a size 5. We're going to rent this thing because I actually tried to get in it earlier, and there were some problems getting into the door. So we're going to rent it, and we're going to fly around in it just because I'm thinking about getting one of these just to maybe take out some new players and go and take on a couple missions and do a lot of really quick combat missions, because this thing can stand up to a lot. It's a lot more maneuverable than that hammerhead over there. It's not nearly nearly as well armed, though it is pretty darn tough. As you can see, I can't open the door back here, so I'm going to put in a segment where I show you my test flight of that thing. Now we're going to go over to the standard Saber. It also, it also says it's a stealth fighter. It's not quite as stealthy as the Saber Comet. The paint job's not as cool, but it's still a nice looking ship. I believe its weapons are slightly bigger, even though it sure looks like it has the same number of guns. It might be a size difference in what you can put in. I can't remember what the difference was right off, but I know that the Saber Comet had less weapons to go with its stealth abilities. Now we're going to go downstairs. We're going to take a look at what's coming out in the near future from Aegis. I can't remember what it is right offhand. They don't have any vehicles in here, which, the vehicles are not my thing, but a lot of people will use them. I'm sure there's going to be a use for them later on. I just don't know what they are right now. You can land out. I mean, they do have anti-air protected areas, so maybe you will need vehicles later on. So this is the Nautilus, is a mine layer. They've had this thing coming out for a long time. I don't know if they probably don't have what you need for the mines, which might be what's holding it up. How to operate mines. In some games I've played, you don't want to place mines because random people run on it and they blow up, and then you have all kinds of problems with the law. This is the Vulcan. I was talking to a player who was a KC-130 operator in real life, and he's like, yeah, I'd like to do refueling and maintenance and stuff like that. That's what my focus would be. This would be a good ship for that. It's medium size, so it's not the big one that we saw from Anvil the other day. But it's probably faster, more maneuverable, can get out to somewhere a little faster. It has drones to do the maintenance, so you just sit there and you operate with the drones, and they'll go and fix the other ships. It looks like it would be a pretty cool one-man operation. Probably easier to use than, it is easier to use than the big refuelers and the heavy repair ships. Okay, now we're going to head over to the fighters, I believe, are in this side. We're going to take another quick look here. See how little those turrets are compared to the Redeemer. But hey, it still will do a good job. If you're fighting off little fighters, it should do just fine. Turrets are pretty easy to use. They're pretty effective when you're going in against fighters. You just need to have them manned because they don't currently have AI for it. And when they will eventually, they don't have it now. But even when they do, they're not going to be as good as having a person in the back. So we're going to go and we're going to look at the Vanguard series. These guys are heavy fighter. Look at the size of that cannon. But it's only one barrel, so it's a big gun as the main. I think it has 4 small guns in front. I'm not exactly sure. Let's go sit down and see what we can do. So this is the Vanguard Harbinger. They have different models of the Vanguards for different for different roles. They have one that's kind of a fighter bomber. They have one that's pure fighter. They have one that's electronic warfare. There's the turret on top there. This looks like it's a 2-man operation because you get that turret on top. I've flown these by myself before. They usually have a pretty good weapon load that's pilot controlled. Let's see if we can see what it is right here. I'm gonna hop in here. Power on. So this has me showing me the rest of 3s. Those are missiles. Unfortunately, when we're in the convention like this, you don't have that much control over the ship, so I can't switch it out of missile mode. So I can't see what the guns are. I'm pretty sure there's 4 or 5 guns that I have access to, but the rest are 4s. That's not a bad missile. You know, it's not a bad missile. Large, fairly powerful. Yeah. This is a beast. It's pretty good at taking on most AI fighters. It's not as good as, well, I'd prefer to have a Hurricane than this, even though these are pretty decent fighters nonetheless. Of course, that might just come down to preference, because I believe they can do almost as much, if not more. The fighter bombers have more bombing capability, or the fighter bomber version has more bombing capability. It looks like this one only has 2 guns in the top turret instead of the 4 of the Hurricane. Again, but I don't think this is the straight up fighter. I think this has something else going on. It might be a missile boat or something. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that one up. They have like 4 or 5 different models of Vanguards. So which one this is, I can't tell you for sure. We're gonna have a look here. This is the hoplite. Is this a dropship? Hoplite would be, yeah. See, this is the dropship. You've got a bunch of seats for Marines plus weapons racks. Its job is to just get people down in a hot zone. Easy breezy, no problem. Which one is this? This is the Vanguard Warden. I believe this is the straight up fighter. We'll see if it lets me in. It doesn't look like it's going to. Yeah, I believe the Warden is a straight up fighter. It should have more and better guns. We might do a tour of this thing later on. As you can see, it looks like it has 4 guns plus a big one that's on a gimbal down below. And over here, I believe this is the electronic warfare version. So, of course, they sacrifice weapons for. Yeah, see, this is the electronic warfare version. It has less powerful weapons in exchange for the electronic warfare equipment. I believe it can shut down ships, so you can, well, hopefully in the future you'll be able to shut down a ship, then either hack it or break into it and take the ship that way. I'm sure that's on the horizon. Exactly when that's coming, who knows. With the, what was that boarding ship called? The Javelin, I think it was, that Anvil was doing. They're probably working on well, I know they're definitely working on hacking, but also on boarding technique and how you get in. The easy way is to open up the door. What I want to see them do is use the oxy cutter to cut open a door. I don't know if that's on the docket, but it would be kind of cool if you could just break into a ship like that. Maybe break into the external portions of a component, rip it out, so you can disable the power system that way, so they never get it running again, or something like that, to where the ship is disabled and you can start picking parts apart. And if the pilot's stuck in the cockpit, well, then he's stuck in the cockpit. There's a lot of options they could possibly do, and they might very well add it, because the possibilities are limitless in this game. It all depends on what their imagination comes up with and if they can get it going. Ooh, the stealth bomber. That thing, we're going to go hit that thing in a little bit. But I want to show you these because these are great ships for new players. I think this is one of the ones that I bought, one of the first ships that I actually paid cash for that was outside of the initial pledge, was the Avenger Titan. This thing is a decent fighter. It's not as good as any of the more dedicated, higher priced, more advanced fighters like the Vanguards or pretty much anything in the main room. But it does the job. You know, its weapons are not super big. They will take on a lot of the earlier bounties. They might, with a skilled pilot, they could probably do even more, but it gets harder with the more you go, the more you're going up against. And it has a cargo area back here, which if I remember this cargo area being bigger than it is now, but you can actually do some cargo runs in this thing, and you can do the package runs, and you have a good enough cargo area to do a full package run. So it's a great ship for new players. It's very maneuverable, fairly fast. It's a good ship if you don't, if you're just starting out. And now we're gonna go over this beauty. The Eclipse it looks like a B-2 stealth bomber, and it acts like a B-2 stealth bomber. Unfortunately, I don't think we get to go and look in the bomb bay, but I'll bet you there's torpedoes just like in the Redeemer. I don't know if they're bigger or smaller. I have a feeling the Redeemer or Retaliator. I like to get too mixed up. I can imagine why. And I'll bet its torpedoes are actually smaller, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Now it looks like it only has 2 Badger repeaters as pilot accessible weapons, which that's a little, yeah, I wish it was a little stronger. But then again, it's not a fighter, it's a bomber. That's its job. So hopefully you'd go in with fighters to clear the area. These do present a nice big fat target if you get the right angle on them, but they're just really cool looking, I think. I mean, look at that cool orange glass there. That's a nice looking ship. Okay, so here's the bomb bay. We cannot open it. Maybe I'll rent it later. We'll see. We got another Avenger over here, and then what is that thing? What are you? Oh, it's a Gladius. Gladiuses are great fire. This is like, this is just like the Anvil Light Fighter. What was it called? I can't remember. I get the names too mixed up because my memory sucks. The Gladius is nice. Again, it's fairly well armed for its size. It's a light, fast, maneuverable fighter. Not much in the shields or armor department because again, it's a light fighter. But if you've got the right setup, a lot of people will run 2 joysticks, some pedals, and a throttle. That would be my ideal, is to have two joysticks, the pedals, and the throttle, so you can do all kinds of strafing movements with the pitch and roll plus the yaw with the pedals all at the same time. You can make these things fly around like crazy. I mean, they were all damn near impossible to hit for some, even with turrets, which it's easy to hit something with a turret because it's basically mouse guided and you just gotta stay on them. But I've seen people fly these things so that they're damn near impossible to hit. Of course, that was a long time ago when there was a lot more issues with connectivity between players. The target leading icon thing was not working very well. So I'm sure they're still very hard to hit when they're piloted right, but maybe not as hard as they used to be. And of course there's the F8 Lightning, which is not an Aegis product, but still a really cool fighter I can't wait to get my hands on. And finally, maybe the one you guys have been waiting for, I'm not sure, but this is the Hammerhead, the heavy gunship Hammerhead. Honestly, it's not my favorite ship out there. If you want to get lost aboard a ship, get on one of these. You can easily get lost in this thing, unless of course you go on it enough, you know where everything is. You can work your way to all the turrets without getting lost at all. But as someone who often goes solo, I would not want one of these at all. Pilots only get access to missiles. The pilot view I'll show you in a little while. You have to get this thing crewed if you want it to be effective. I believe it has 6 turrets with, as you can see, the weapons were actually quite large. So it's a pretty powerful ship, but it has to be crewed. You have to get six other people to get in there with you if you want to use it to its full potential. And here's, I believe we are in the front right section, but I could be wrong because you get really turned around in this thing. Of course, you got 4 rhinos. Of course, you can switch out the weapons on any of these guys, but the rhinos, big size, they're a very large weapon, very strong weapon. You know, you can knock out a ship in no time with that. We're going to go. What is this? I think this is the elevator. This is the elevator. Where am I? I think that's I think that's one of the elevators, and I think the bridge. Cool. Let's go see the bridge. Why not? I'll show you one other thing. One of the reasons I don't like this is the pilot. Elevator. I suppose I could have dropped down there. It's not that far of a drop, but you know, might as well not hurt us. And here's the main cockpit. As you can tell, the view is very restricted. Kind of a weird, kind of dungeony type cockpit. You can't see anything above you. There's a cargo bay docking area right above it, which is why it's covered like this. Still, it's a very restrictive cockpit. You can't see much. And of course, this thing handles like a pig, so it doesn't really. You can't maneuver it that well. It's not horrendous, but it's a huge ship and it maneuvers like a huge ship. So it's not the most fun thing in the world to fly. And with no weapons, you're basically relying on all your gunners to have all the fun while you're stuck just kind of pointing at a fairly stationary target and shooting a missile at it. Not the most fun thing to do as a pilot. Okay, back to the tour of the rest of the ship. I'm not sure why this isn't opening. You know what, whatever. If it doesn't open, it doesn't. Oh, that's the front cargo bay. That's what that is. I don't know why it's not opening, but we don't need to go. That's the front cargo bay docking area. I've actually had to fly in that way before when I got kicked out of the ship somehow. I think I got kicked out through a turret because there was a bug and I just got sent out into space. So now there's your aft left turret escape pods for, you know, if you can get back here before the thing blows up. Other side. Oh, cool. They actually have signage down. So bridge and engine room. What is this? Clearly it is an elevator, but an elevator to what? Where are you? I'm not very familiar with this ship, as you can tell, and where all the buttons are. That's one thing you do have to get used to, is where the buttons are, because a lot of ship manufacturers have different looking buttons. Apparently that little white one on the left is where you call it. That screen's not on, which is not exactly reassuring. I think we are up in the crew area now. So I've never actually been up in the crew area before because I've always just gone straight to one of the turrets, the first turret I could find, and sat down in it. So there's some engineering stuff. So here's the crew area. And crew mess, it looks like. What's back here? I hope that's storage, because if those are racks, they don't look comfortable. And, oh, I don't have a helmet on, so I can't turn on my flashlight and show you what's in this corner. That might be a kitchen right there too. So yeah, I guess this would be crew mess with kitchen. Fancy. And then there should be a bedroom or sleeping quarters around here somewhere, I would think. Oh, cargo area. Woo. Looks warm. Oh, did not. Haven't seen the crew sleeping arrangements yet. So we'll go look somewhere else. Maybe on the other side of the ship, who knows? Maybe we won't even go look because you honestly never use it anyway. It's not like we do long-term crew missions where we're out doing things. In this thing, anyway. What is this? Oh, this looks like it might be the captain's quarters. Yeah. Personally, I like the captain's quarters in pretty much any other ship more than this. It has all the warmth of a public toilet. In that bathroom. Other side turret right there. And I believe this is the top turret right here. Enter turret. I always like these animations. Gives you the real feeling that like you're actually sitting in something that you're actually traveling through the ship to get somewhere. So what has this got? 4 rhinos, just like all the rest. If you're in a mission, if you're multi-crewing with a bunch of other people, try to get to the top turret. When you're on the side turrets, it does get a little bit boring when all the ships are on the other side. So if you can get one of the top or bottom turrets, then you have better range of motion, better vision, and you can do more shooting at stuff, and you'd basically be a lot more active. Other side turret, what is this room? It looks like an engineering station, which we don't really have use for yet that I know of. Maybe that'll be a tractor beam of some kind in the future. It is not currently. Oh, here's crew quarters, right? Yep, look at those comfy bucks. That one looks like the mouths of eating the covers. And that looks like an unrendered cargo bay. Don't step in that or you're going to fall through the ship. Let's go around the other side. See if it magically appears when we go the other way. There it is. That's what it's supposed to look like, not the other way around. That looks like an OSHA violation, if you ask me. I'm not sure I should be standing that close to it. I don't know how you survive that thing. That thing looks like it's basically catching fire. And back here is the bottom turret. Now this one is a funky turret. I think it like flips you upside down. Yeah, see, it flips you upside down, and then you're in the turret and you're basically upside down. Yeah, when you're in space, there's no up, I know, but still, interesting concept. And so yeah, there you go. I believe that's about it for this ship. Yeah, we'll head out the cargo elevator. It looks like this is big enough to load up a vehicle. Not sure how big a vehicle. Doesn't look like it can hold an anvil or a Nova. The Nova's the tank. So there's that upside down turret we were just in. It looks like it can hold some smaller things, maybe a rock, and of course the bikes and all that stuff. So it's not the worst ship in the world. It is very well armored. It's very powerful. Great against fighters. I've taken this thing on many a claim jumper mission, and it's just super simple with these things. There's that front cargo bay docking area right there, and of course the Redeemer. I really want to take out the Retaliator, I think, or the Redeemer. Redeemer is going to be fun. So anyway, that's our tour of the Aegis convention, I guess, the tour of all their ships right now. Man, the lighting is horrible in here. Not that the skin looks overly great anyway on my person. But anyway, yeah, we're going to take the Redeemer out for a test drive. All right, here she is, the Redeemer. Now we can open the back door. Woohoo! We're going to head up in here. There is not much room in here. But I guess this isn't really made to carry cargo. I think it might have a little bit of cargo capacity, but maybe like 2 SCUs or something incredibly small. It's going to be up here right there on the left. Cargo area. There's crew mess right there, and then this one actually comes stocked with some drinks, so that's kind of nice. First thing you gotta do is go up the stairs here, because there's nothing. I think down there is crew berths, and that's about it. So here we got main turret we're standing in, but we're going to go straight up here because we're actually going to get out before we do our tour. And then we're going to test fly this thing and see what it can do. So we're going to just do startup. I'll get back with you as soon as we get out there. Now you can tell that there are 4 guns that the pilot has control over. It looks like 2 of them are ballistic based, the other 2 are not so much. They're the ones under the wings right there. I don't know where the other 2 are. I don't think that turret under the nose is pilot controlled. I think that's a remote turret, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. So N5As are a good size weapon. And oh look, isn't she pretty? Now I'm trying to switch between VTOL and non-VTOL to see if there's a difference. I'm not seeing any configuration changes in the ship between the 2. And I guess as long as I don't fall to the planet core, I don't really care right now because we're not really going anywhere. We're also geared up for space travel. We're not going to go doing any space travel right now. And there we are, doing our little takeoff sequence. It's interesting how they do those maneuvering thrusters. Okay, so there's that rear turret right there. I believe is also from the remote turret control. We'll show you those in a second here. So now we're out. I'm gonna just level off and make sure that I'm not dropping. Well, maybe not yet. We'll do a little maneuvering first, just to see what she's like. So, looks like it's ideal speed with maneuverability is about 119, 120 or so. That's not bad. I mean, it's on par with a lot of fighters, so it's not slow necessarily. I'm sure when I bring up the speed limiter, I'll go significantly faster. Okay. So we're not falling, we're stable. Let's go take a look at this thing. So these 2 seats here, these are remote turret seats. So we're going to go in, and I'll show you how the remote turret system works. It's basically a gunner station inside the ship. So you're not actually inside the turret like you are in the manned turrets. I'm just going to turn on power. And I'm going to enter the turret. Now you can do things where you overclock your guns and all that sort of thing. I'm not going to do it right now. So this looks like this is I think this is the front turret. I can't really tell. It looks like it's the front turret. I have to see what I'm looking at. That's the main ship. So we're going to get out of this one. Go to the other one. I think it is possible to switch from one turret to the next with the right button, but I'm not 100% sure. I've never actually used it because I think I've only been in manned turrets for the most part. Haven't been on one of these yet, and I like these things, so I'm probably going to really like this ship, and I'm gonna have to start saving some money so I can do it. Now, this is definitely the back. There's the engines. There's our door. Don't shoot yourself, I guess. Oh, look. A hostile coming in. Let's see what he's doing. I don't think you can shoot here. I'm pretty sure we're in a armistice zone. So we can't really shoot him. It'd be nice to target him so you can see the lead lag indicator. I'm sure I've got it on lead, but whatever. So that one will cover your back. It looked like both of them have access to two guns. I'm not sure the size of the guns because I don't memorize that stuff offhand. I can just look it up. And so this is where the man turret is. The trick is figuring out how to get into it. Oh, there we go. So this is the lower turret. Lower forward turret. And there we go. So there's the remote guns that we were just in with the remote station. And I don't know how big these guns are, but they look like they're a good size. A very good size. And eventually I think they're going to be able to blow turrets off. So if you're in a manned turret like this, you will likely be targetable and likely be, well, yeah. If you get hit by ship weapons when you're sitting in a turret like this and there's no shields to protect you, you're gonna have a bad day. Let's just put it that way. Hopefully you're wearing your full your full flight suit with helmet, but it might not really matter. It doesn't take many shots, I'm sure, to turn you into a pink mist. Damn, look at the size of those barrels. That's a good sized gun. You did not want to be on the wrong side of that thing. Again, it's only 2 guns, not 4, but it looks like they're 2 big guns. So, I think they're at least size 5. They might be size 6. Probably not size 6. But I can't say for sure. And let's go. Let's go back more. Jump seats. We've got weapons lockers, life support components. It doesn't seem to want to open, so I'm not going to worry about it. You just switch out the components. It's something that's not quite in game yet, so I'm not going to worry about it. There's your ladder down, the little door that opens. And then back here should be the aft turret, and it looks like this is a little bit of storage space too, so maybe you can store some stuff back here. Oh, it also has a lot of components back here. Maybe you don't want to block the doors. Quantum drive, bunch of stuff. So, yeah, power plant. None of it seems to open just yet. But let's get in the turret. Now, it took me a while to figure this out, but you actually want to go to those screens that are right there. So you'll go up here and we'll turn around, and then yeah, screen right there. That's what you want to click on. Oh, look, that one opened up. Click on that to get your turret access. Come on down, and we'll hop in and go see what this turret can see. I thought this one was on the bottom, but it doesn't appear to be dead. Big sucker. We'll turn the power on just because, why not? Yeah, whatever. You get the gist. It's just like turning on the power on the other one. Turn it on, you get to move it around and do stuff. So I don't want to get too repetitive with turning on every little thing. So that appears to be the main deck. Head back down here, and you can see it comes stocked with drinks already. So cool. I guess they throw in a few waters when you buy a multi-million credit ship. Very nice of them. Wardrobe for change of clothes. It looks like it's made for 4 crew. This is probably the bathroom. Something like that. And that looks like maybe storage space. Maybe shower. Probably storage space. Yeah. So let's fly this thing. Let's see what it can do. Okay, so we'll do a little flying around Cloud City just to see what it can do. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to test it fully, but we'll see, won't we? Just want to get the outside. You can see me sitting in the seat. I could always zoom in and you can see me better, but that's not easy. Okay, so let's climb a little bit. Not a whole lot of it. Actually, let's head back to town. We'll mess around with Cloud City. They do have some autopilot things where if you get too close to certain buildings, they'll put you in autopilot, but it's not that bad. As you can tell from that little maneuver there, there's a little bit of momentum to kill, like almost like an oversteer, where you try to come out of the maneuver and it keeps going because it's a little heavy. It's not as heavy as some of the other stuff I've seen. Now, this glare on the screen makes it a little, or the glare on my windshield makes it a little bit difficult to see what's going on outside in the in the darkened Cloud City, but as long as I can see things in time, then it won't be a big deal. Let's see if we can pull this maneuver. Yes, we can. In fact, it could more than pull that maneuver. I actually had to pull it out of it before I ran into the cross bridges. And I'm just being safe here. I could definitely do circles around that a little bit. Let's see if we can add a little exterior vision to see what it looks like. Doesn't make it easy to see when the camera keeps moving like that. Little side strafe to make sure we don't hit that thing. Pull up and around it. See how close we can get. It's not bad. For a ship this size with the guns like this, the amount of power it has, it maneuvers very well. Definitely not as well as a fighter, that's for sure. But when you have this many big turrets and remote operated turrets, you don't need to maneuver as well as a fighter because they can't really hide from you. If they get on your tail, they still have to deal with all your turrets. Well, most of them anyway. So I think this would definitely fly circles around something like a hammerhead. Of course, if the hammerhead can get its guns to bear on you, then you're in trouble no matter who you are. Let's fly down this area here. Pull it through here. Now it's so dark and I can't see anything. It would be nice to have that eye tracking thing so I could actually move my head and have a look-see so I could see where I am. But since I can't, I've got to do this view, which, you know, the camera doesn't stay here. Makes it really hard to pull maneuvers from behind. I'm sure I could do it, but not right now because I'm flying. So there, I'll figure it out another day. Let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, no problem. I was expecting it to maneuver slower than that to actually make that somewhat of a challenge, but that really wasn't tough at all. For that range of a turn, there was not a lot of overcorrection or oversteer. So it was actually pretty true to what I wanted, and it maneuvered fairly well. Now we're going to see how fast it can go with the speed limiter up. We're going to do a little afterburner here to see how quick the afterburner works. It's not super fast, I'll tell you that much. And then it looks like the atmosphere is trying to keep us down at the 200 level. Now, if you watch the Javelin video that I'm also going to post, the Pisces is able to get up to like 500, and even the Javelin was able to get pretty damn fast, if you ask me. I don't know how fast it was going because I wasn't in it, but it seemed like around 300 something I was matching speed with it. So the Javelin, of course, it has much bigger engines. The Javelin is pretty fast, which is the carrier. That carrier? It's either a carrier or a destroyer. I can't remember what it is. But it's a big ship. I think it actually is the destroyer, not the carrier. Because as you see, I try to land on it. I don't see where there's a whole lot of landing areas on the Javelin. So I'd say it's probably the destroyer. It's a really cool looking ship. I'll show you because I fly next to it. So now we're going to see what this is like to land this guy. If you're in a larger ship, they do tend to put you in, you see the door straight ahead on top on the roof. If you're in a larger ship, they tend to put you in that way on the roof bays, and you have to kind of drop down into it. And of course they'll put the arrow somewhere in the middle so you can't tell which door you have to go into. So I'm going to go check this door real quick and confirm that it is not open. It doesn't look open to me, but I wouldn't be surprised if they'd want a ship this size to go in there. But it appears that this is not the door for me. So I'm going to just get past it. We're going to do I should have done more of a split S, but I didn't want to kind of just get around it. So I'm going to come around and see what it looks like on this side. I'm not sure how far it goes on this side, so I just want to get clear of it. Oh, yep. there's my doors. I got my lights on so I can see a little better, but there's my door. We're gonna just kind of right or left strafe over so we align while we're kind of heading in. We're gonna land this bad boy. If you watch me try to land, I think I was flying the Carrack at the time. You see how long that takes because you have to align everything. The hangars are not much larger than this ship, so it can be a little bit more time consuming. It's more of a bigger pain than just flying in like this. Of course, I always tend to stop too much there. Now we're just gonna fly her in, set her down, and maybe turn off those lights because it's a little bit bright. But yeah, so lands really easily, no problem. It's closer to a fighter than a big ship. It definitely is a big ship. It doesn't maneuver quite as well as a fighter, but it flies decently. I think it flies better than the Connies, but I haven't flown a Connie in a while, so since they did their gold pass or whatever it was. So the Connies might actually fly better now than they did when I was in there. It flies better than the Herculeses, that's for sure, but of course it's a lot smaller than Herculeses. It definitely flies around the Carrack. It might fly a lot like the Mercury Star Runner. It might actually fly even better than the Mercury Star Runner. It's definitely better armored than the Star Runner. So anyway, that's my tour. She's still a pretty looking but also badass. The kind of ship you don't want to mess with. And just look at those. These guys are impressed. You can tell by the looks on their face. Yeah, that's my ship, guys, for now. For the next 48 hours, whatever. So yeah, there she is, the Redeemer. Powerful gunship that was designed by the community. Fun to fly, well armored. Yeah, great ship to have. I'm gonna make this one of my goals to get one of these and fly with my kids. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'll show the Javelin one coming up next. Have a good one.